What's up, Maniacs? My name is Max. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today we're back with another episode breaking down everything that happened in last night's AEW Dynamite. Got my co-host back with me, gang's back together. We've got NK from Wrestlings and we've got GG from GG on Wrestling. Make sure you subscribe to their channels. All the information is down below.
And make sure you subscribe to Rest Things because you don't want to miss tomorrow.
That is it. That is it. Tomorrow's a big day. Big day.
We should have booked Hal, bruv. I'm telling you, we should have booked Hal for the premiere.
That would have been a good shot, you know. That would be a good shot. I was even thinking, they're not even doing double or nothing, you know.
Well, how?
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind staying at home for this double or nothing on a Sunday. You know, yeah, I don't mind.
We needed the Mex vlog, bruv, when Osprey makes his introduction on the pod.
Yeah, we got Will Ospreay is a guest on Wrestlings. For those that don't know what we're talking about, he's a guest on Wrestlings on tomorrow's episode. So we're gonna get into a bit of that towards the end of the episode. We'll let NK tell us what he can to kind of give us a teaser for tomorrow's episode. But yeah, AEW Dynamite last night, Wildcard Wednesday as they dubbed it. We got to learn who the two jokers were in the Owen tournament. The progression of a very good storyline right at the top of the card involving the title and the tag team. I guess what's going to happen around the tag team titles at Double or Nothing as well. We got to learn what was happening around there. Before we get into things, what was you guys' general thoughts of the show?
First hour was very, very good. Like the classic Dynamite. Second hour, had like one notably bad segment and one iffy segment. But overall, I'd say good show. Overall, I'd put it like a good show. Like nothing amazing, but good show.
GG, what's your thoughts?
Solid, man. Very fun week. I enjoyed it. Some very, very good matches. And every week, brother, I'm literally like audibly reacting to Dynamite at least 3 or 4 times on a show, like whether it be a crazy spot or whatever it is. But yeah, man, it was a good show. Few little niggly bits, but generally, man, I proper enjoyed last night, man.
Definitely a good show. I think I agree with NK's breakdown of the first hour was just really good. And then maybe, it just kind of struggles from there a bit. But
do you know what you need to do then is watch the second hour first, and then you're blessed.
I was thinking, is it a thing? I was thinking, is it a thing where it's just second hour fatigue, but it's not Raw. Like it's still way better than that. So I don't know what it is generally, because it's been like that for some time now. The first hour they kind of maybe just stack on purpose, and then whatever happens in the second hour happens. Let's get into the jokers to start off with today. They opened the show with Samoa Joe's match. His first round match was against a Joker. And his Joker turned out to be John Morrison, aka Johnny Mundo, aka Johnny Elite now. Even when he put the Johnny Elite on the Titron, I thought this is Gargano.
Exactly.
Gargano does the whole Johnny wrestling thing and stuff. So
how much of the pop was for Johnny Gargano and not Morrison?
100% all of it.
Loud.
I really thought it was Gargano.
I feel like everyone, and this is just trying to read the crowd's reaction. And the crowd was pretty good last night. Everyone kind of popped, and then Morrison walked out, and then everyone was just like,
I don't know, man. It seemed like it was maintained for a little as he walked out.
It was, but I feel like you could see it's not that Johnny, it's this Johnny.
Yeah,
but we don't mind it, sort of thing. Yeah, it wasn't the Johnny that everyone wanted.
Yeah, because I remember when he walked out, because when the Titan came out, Johnny Elite, and I was like, oh damn, it's Morrison, and he came in with the hood, and I was like, okay, this is a different look to what Gargano has. This is different. He's a bit taller. I was like, oh, when he came full on front, I was like, oh, Morrison, and I was like, that's kind of. I'm not the biggest Morrison fan in the world. It was still a good debut, still a notable name in the business, but I was like, I kind of wanted Johnny Gargano, but considering the finish of the match, I'm happy it wasn't Gargano.
At the end of the day as well, like, we know the roster's stacked. Like,
Yeah.
there's complaints that it's, over flooded, but for us to have a Joker that's gonna, like a Gargano, that's someone you would assume is gonna sign and stay. So it made sense to me that, John Morrison, just a quick appearance, someone that Joe can lose to, a name that we weren't expecting. Let's be honest, I didn't see anyone mention John Morrison. So it did what it did, man. It didn't. I've seen some people that were maybe a bit disappointed, but don't know, man. I think it made for a good match. Morrison is a fairly good competitor, especially against a big muscle man like Joe. It kind of worked, like the opposites. But yeah, man. Do you know what? Did you see when he was he was on the top of the rope at one point, going for a tope outside, and he was like motioning to Joe to move, to move closer or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of getting into the match, so we'll just talk about it was the first match after Raw. Yeah, I was a bit, it's only Morrison sort of thing. They did have what I would think was a very, very good match. I think some people were playing it down, but this is probably the one thing he's good at. I, as well, have never really taken to John Morrison throughout the years, but let him do what he can do in the ring, and I'm always left impressed. And obviously Joe as well. Joe's slowly looking like somewhat of the Joe we knew. Well, we're not going to get that full on Joe. Obviously, age is a thing, but like he just looked very, very good. And someone said this is the first time they ever faced each other, which is kind of mad for guys that have been around for such a long time.
Because they've both been on. Well, I don't.
They've crossed paths before.
They would have missed each other, surely, innit? Because Joe.
Because I know obviously WWE Impact. But I don't know.
Because Morrison came back recently, don't forget, and then Joe was either have gone or in NXT probably. So they've probably missed each other every time.
Yeah. No, they said this is the first time. So look, the match was good, and like you said, Gigi, I feel it is kind of refreshing that AEW can bring in these people for one-off appearances and they can go off again. Not everyone needs to be signed.
No.
And you would argue that maybe some people that are signed should have had positions like this. Like, I'm not about to name names, it wouldn't come to me anyway. But yeah, like some people should just have a one-off appearance and maybe drop in every now and again, but they don't need to actually sign. So they done that with Homicide not too long ago. They done that with Cobb.
Years ago.
Yeah. So
obviously
Gage as well. It's I think it's cool. So I ain't seen no Johnny Elite is elite picture. I ain't trying to see one either. So
I think they've come out and made it clear that it is just a one-off. So
because the name Johnny Elite scared me because obviously Johnny Elite, but if it doesn't have Johnny Elite is all elite, he's not all elite. So he'll probably be back at some point, maybe like at a casino battle royal or so, which I'll be fine with again. But I'll be fine.
Yeah, let's just keep him at hand's reach.
Yeah.
That muscle buster though.
That was crazy. That was
safe as anything, but looked so good, man. Like the only issue with this Joker, like, and I don't want to get back into it, but who is John Morrison to have this spot? Why? There's a lot of unanswered questions, but it is what it is. He didn't make it through, so
thank God. I feel like if the Joker made it through, then it'd create a whole bunch of
if this Joker made it through, you people will be hearing my voice.
It cause a whole bunch of problems because like how the hell do you just join a tournament midway through and then go but so one of the
now saying that if the Joker was a Cesaro or a Johnny Gargano, and I think like we had and some others had speculated if what's his face Jay Lethal had costed Samoa Joe the match against them, it somewhat makes sense
if it was one of them.
Yes, a long-term kind of signing. But not Johnny Elite. Which does sound like join the elite, as Mark has pointed out here. So
can we talk about that post-match, because I thought that was so clever to tie into who Joe is now going to face. Like for them to attack his arm, and now you know, he's gonna spoilers. Kyle O'Reilly is gonna have to face him. Like it just ties in perfectly to what that match is now gonna be, and Kyle can now obviously use that to his advantage and grab up his arm any opportunity he gets, and that muscle buster spot into the armbar or whatever he's gonna be, like it's gonna be sick, man.
Yeah,
it's clever.
He's gonna catch him. He's definitely gonna catch him. But yeah, obviously, like I said earlier, I thought this match was really, really good, really great opener. We saw I guess, semi-botched M450, kind of missed him a bit, but
Excalibur saves the day again, or whoever said it. I think it might have even been JR this time, actually, just saying he was too far away. Like Samoa Joe should have done a one kick out there, but like it's good that the commentators are catching things like that.
Yeah, that's part of their job. That's part of their job. And then of course we saw the muscle buster, which it's just great to see Joe do that again.
Like, yeah, especially when it's like that.
Has that extra bits of oomph to the match, because I don't like the coquina clutch by itself. I don't know. A choke should come after like a mad move. So I like the fact that the muscle buster is the move, and if somebody, you know, kicks out of the muscle buster, then he can apply the choke as like the last desperation thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, literally as they kick out, catch them in the coquina clutch and get them. Or like you're saying, I feel like it's probably something that belongs in like a segment of just catching someone in a coquina clutch, not necessarily in the match. But yeah, it's great to see the muscle buster again.
He's obviously stopped waking up in cold sweats over Tyson Kidd now, innit, and feels comfortable enough to do it.
Well, I guess it's his employers have changed, innit? They don't mind him doing it. So this was the men's Joker, and then for the women we had Britt Baker come out, and Maki Ito returns to AEW. And she was the Joker, came out singing her, you know, ex pop star. Nicely tied back to the time when she and Britt Baker were tag partners on a Revolution kickoff show. I think it was a pre-show. And yeah, it was just a bunch of Maki Ito, usual kind of fun-loving joke kind of stuff, which I didn't mind. This one, I was kind of less concerned with who the Joker was going to be, because I was pretty sure whoever it was going to be, Britt Baker, was going to continue in the tournament. What's you guys' thoughts on Maki Ito coming through?
So much fun, bruv. I had a whale of a time. Like, even I don't know what it is, bruv, about that crying spot that just gets me, man. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just so like over animated, and it's like, oh, you hurt me, and it's like, oh, you okay? Bang, like step on the foot or whatever it is. Like, I don't think she's the worst worker in the world. She's like very character orientated, but generally, like, I think it was just fun, man. The whole headbutt spots, like, it just works, man. I thought she kind of, Britt Baker handled her quite quickly, but then it might have been timing, or maybe Mackie's not worthy of kind of going a long time with her. But other than that, it was good, man.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Maki Ito. I just find her hilarious. I feel like Maki's somebody, you know, she's best in small doses. I don't want to see Maki Ito on TV all the time. I don't. And I was someone who said sign her, and now I'm like, no, like have her just as a reoccurring. Like once every 6 months, Maki Ito's back. It's just a ball of fun, and you know she can, you know, the crowd like her. So yeah, I was a fan of this. In terms of the length of the match went perfectly, as long as it needed to go, and it was a nice pop. And once she came out, I said, "There's no way Maki Ito was beating Britt Baker. It doesn't make sense." Like, so yeah, and so I'm very happy with Maki Ito, and hopefully I see her again. I hope to see her again in AEW.
We see a lot of negatives around her name anytime she does kind of show up. But I feel like people forget that wrestling's supposed to be like banter. Wrestling's supposed to be dumb, like to a degree. Like.
And you know what? It's not often we get a lot of female comedy characters. I've certainly not seen a huge bunch. We've got like Session Martina over here. We've got, you know, Nikki Cross did a little, you know, superhero stuff. But generally, do you know what I mean? We see a lot of comedy wrestlers from males, the Llanos and Les Kelly, if you want to go further back. But yeah, it's not something you often see, like real kind of comedy character wrestling from a female. So it's refreshing, man. It's nice to see.
Yeah, it's good. It does kind of vary things up in terms of presentation and what you expect from wrestling. So yeah, those are the Jokers. Generally speaking, were you underwhelmed? A lot of people come out and said, this isn't what I kind of signed up for. It's one of the ones where, wrestling fans have sold themselves Cesaro, have sold themselves Gargano. No one told them that these people were coming, but that's what I guess they believed. So what did you, I mean, I think I know who you guys would have predicted. Were you underwhelmed by who actually turned up?
No, because when in our predictions, like we were predicting big names, but we were predicting big problems with those big names.
Yeah.
So my thing is that cool. If you bring in a Cesaro and you bring in a Gargano, you bring in these people of stature, they come and win the tournament. We've kind of invalidated the tournament. If they come in and lose, like why the hell have you brought these guys in to lose? So it's kind of like this is kind of the best way where these jokers were just to get a cheap pop. It was like, okay, listen, cheap pop. Hey, pop the crowd, come in. It's a wild card. But at the end of the day, the tournament advances the way it's supposed to. So at the end of the day, I didn't have high expectations for the Jokers. The Jokers weren't even the reason why I tuned into the show. I tuned in for a match that we're going to talk about later. But yeah, I wasn't underwhelmed. The pops got me. I was very happy to see Maki Ito. It was cool to see John Morrison, Johnny Elite. But yeah, I was perfectly fine with the Jokers.
I'm usually the worst one to like over hype shit in my mind before it happens, but like I was like on my way home quite late, so I literally turned it on and I see John Morrison in the ring, so I didn't actually see and I literally just went, oh, John Morrison, okay. Like I don't think even the Jokers themselves were overhyped. It was just like, right, random wrestler here, so it worked, man. I wasn't underwhelmed, I wasn't overwhelmed, and as long as Joe's progressing in this tournament and not taking a loss, that's all I care about.
It's not like TK went on Busted Open Radio and said we've got one of the greatest, like Christian, and he said we've got one of the greatest, female wrestlers on planet Earth, the most charismatic. We've got one of the most innovative high flyers of all time. Like, you know what I'm saying? As long as, I feel like that's where that the disappointment is warranted. When TK starts talking, that's where usually the disappointment comes. Usually when nothing happens, there's no hype from competition, it's a random joker, we'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? We'll be fine.
When TK starts talking.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, cool. Mark says, I actually thought it was okay that the joker was Morrison because nobody guessed it might be him. Yeah. And yeah, he can still go in the ring. Like I said, the match is really good. So neither of them progressed. We'll talk about, I guess, the next kind of round of the tournament as we kind of get through to it. But I think next up on the show, following the opening match, we had obviously the beatdown that you mentioned yourself, Gigi. Then we had this segment where I think Jeff Hardy was backstage. He had just been cleared. And we got the Young Bucks come through, kind of, poke fun at the fact, you shouldn't be doing this anymore. You're getting old, this, that, and the other. Matt Hardy threatened the Young Bucks not to get involved with Jeff Hardy's match later on in the night in the main event, which they didn't for when we get there. But then we'll talk about,
The cosplay line was nice, though.
Yeah. That. Matt Hardy still putting it over like that the Young Bucks are trying to be the Hardys. Obviously, they're a massive influence. So yeah, little backstage segment. Right. We get on to a match where I thought was absolutely outstanding as a TV match. Hangman Adam Page, the AEW World Champion, going up against Konsuke Takeshita. Right. Him. Like...
Hey, I'm learning too, bro. Takeshita.
So I hadn't seen this guy or any of his stuff before. I think he was on Rampage a week ago or 2 weeks ago, maybe now.
Jay Lethal, wasn't it? Yeah, him versus
yeah, the Jay Lethal match. I think he had been on Dark before that or something
Cutler.
like that. But yeah, I'm sorry, I don't watch Dark. This match, like, obviously we got Punk on commentary.
That's the top though.
Huh?
His t-shirt.
The t-shirt. So what did it say? Abortion is a human right or something like that? What did it say?
Abortion rights are human rights or something like
that. Yeah.
But it was just Excalibur with the little nod. Nice t-shirt. Like, okay, cool.
I mean, I'm not about to get into politics.
No, of course not.
these
But
man,
it was just nice that Excalibur like gave
yeah.
the little nod to it.
I see a lot of people making noise about does he need to do that on a wrestling show? Basically, bring outside stuff into it, but
It's none
using
of
your
my
platform,
business. It's none of my business.
it's one of them ones. Like it's none of my business. Is use your platform however you're gonna use it, I guess. But yeah, back to this match. Like I say, Punk was on commentary, and Punk was doing the best kind of trolling stuff I've ever seen Punk do during this match. Just really it was even irritated me somewhat, like kind of stuff he was saying. I'm thinking, what are you disrespecting my guy for? Like, we saw haluva kicks from what's this guy's name? Takeshita. Haluva kicks. They made a lot of references to El Generico as well, which I liked. In this, there was a diving, like a jumping lariat that he done as well.
Yeah.
God, obviously we saw Hangman's moonsault. We saw the buckshot, or that he was calling the punk shot lariat. The consecutive German suplexes where
the height, it was the angle of them. They were landing on there. I was like, wow.
Takeshita dropped Hangman like on his head. Then Hangman just pops back up and gives him one.
You can tell he has strength, like, and what's it called when like it's functional strength, isn't it? Like whatever, I think that's the term. Like that German when he bridged, like the strength to be able to just
he's a
on your
freak
toes,
nation.
like,
and he's a pretty, and he's tall, like, because I don't know why.
The cell of I think he went to do a pin, and he couldn't hold it because of his neck. Just nice little stuff to make the match just continue flowing and make sense. Then obviously Hangman hit him with the buckshot. It was written. He gets him up for the GTS, drops him. Yeah, man, really, really good match. Then obviously Punk and Hangman have their little face-to-face from distant, and they walk closer to each other and walk past each other. Next week, I believe they got a segment face-to-face. But yeah, you guys talk to me about this match, man.
I just loved, like we've mentioned it pretty much already, but I loved like the camera panning to Punk on commentary after the GTS, and he just calmly went, "Oh, going right where I want him. I'm in his head." Like, but it's not just about, oh, I'm going to do your finish, you're going to do my finisher. There's explanation there. Like there's reason, kind of. Do you know what I mean? CM Punk's going, I'm in his head now. That's why I did this. And like, he's playing into my hand. It's just that extra little layer that just worked, man. I thought it was good.
Yeah. This is my first time watching Konosuke Takeshita. I didn't watch the Rampage match with Lethal, but I heard good things about it. But when this match was announced, I was very excited. And the reason why I'm excited, I'm always an advocate for let people work, give people the platform and let people do. And this was going to, and when I saw Takeshita was up against Hangman Page, who's the AEW champion, like I was like, okay, this is a statement of intent, but they could squash him. But let's just see what happens. And then they literally gave him a highly competitive match. Like, that match was super competitive, the AEW champion. And I just hope, obviously he signed to DDT, and they've kind of got like a working relationship thing going on. So he won't be signed to AEW, he won't win a title or anything. But I definitely want to see more of him on my TV. Have him, pick up a few win streaks here and there, beat a few people. Maybe not your top guys, but certainly your mid carders. Just have him around and let him work, because like he put his best foot forward in that match, and he should be very proud of himself. And yeah, I'm like, hope maybe this puts more spotlight on DDT to see. Okay, maybe I might go back and watch a match of his. But in regards to Punk and Page, I'm gonna say this, like I'm gonna reserve my thoughts until post Double or Nothing, but up right now, this is definitely one of the, like, they've only been 4 title reigns, but this is for me like top 2 AEW title reigns.
Hell yeah.
And I'm reserving my judgment till after Double or Nothing to see like how the match turns out. But boy, because I remember there were reservations. I mean, rightfully so, because I think the beginning of his run was a bit. I understand why people were concerned about it, but boy, is he silenced all the critics. Hangman Page is like, he's more than ready. He's a champion. And CM Punk, I mean, he's just come off the MJF feud, and now he's doing this feud, which is amazing. And it's a completely different feud. It's not about the insults, just the tension and the energy. Like, I can't wait to see these guys fight each other. It's just competitive spirit at its finest. So, yeah, man.
Do you know what I like about it as well? I think everyone kind of going in, I don't think it's the case now, but everyone was like, right, who's the heel? I need a heel. I need a heel here. But they've kind of gone, no. It's CM Punk versus Hangman Page. It's these two characters against each other. And who knows what's going to happen?
Pick a side.
Exactly.
Yeah. Pick a side.
It's like Hogan Warrior, well, not to, but do you know what I mean? It's that kind of feel.
That's a great point, Gigi. I was going to mention that there is no out and out heel here. Like, this is just two guys that, for whatever reason, you know, they're gonna one up each other, and at the end of the rainbow is a title, basically, and you know,
Punk
whoever can be the better man.
And Punk doing mind games, quote unquote, that's just a character trait. It's not necessarily a heel trait in this scenario. He's just doing Punk, isn't it? Like what he would do. Did you see the clip of Hangman putting Takeshita over? It was in someone's vlog.
It was Emi Sakura's vlog.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and he was just saying like that was like a fight of my life. Like, I haven't been put to the test like that since Danielson. Like, proper putting a man over, like crazy.
He gives me like a hybrid of like Naito and Kota Ibushi vibes.
Yeah, I see it.
Like, he is really good, and they said he's 26 and already like nearly a 10-year veteran. Like, like he's someone. I think NK, you said this pretty early on into AEW's lifespan. Like, we're getting a lot of women over from Japan, and they need to start filtering the guys over. And again, these aren't probably, you know, the high level guys, the name brands that we wanted. I guess those are probably still to come. But even like this taking our champion to the limit, you know, I'm here for it.
And sorry, I know we need to move on, but I did want to just ask, like, there were some reservations just about how they're debuting these kind of talents in terms of vignettes, and I know they're not mutually exclusive, but what better way to showcase who this person is by putting him out there and letting him just do that? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how you get to know what a wrestler's about.
Personally, someone like him, I don't think he needs a vignette, because he's kind of come in as a lower league name, if you like. He's worked his way through dark elevation, and he's made it to TV. And on Rampage, they did give a bit of backstory through the commentary of who he is, what he's about. But yeah, Takeshita don't need no vignette. It's these the guys that they're pushing straight away that you know, you might want to tell the audience.
Because if you're having somebody, let's say, main event a pay-per-view, or just like go against Punk or Danielson, like, of course the fans will know, but maybe like a little history lesson to be like, yo, this is who this person is, this is why this is a big deal. With Takeshita, it's more like, because to even to the hardcore wrestling fan, DDT's quite like still a smaller promotion. So it's like, yo, okay, well, if I tell you he's 12-time DDT champion, that doesn't ring a bell to a lot of even the hardcore fans. But if I show you that, yo, this guy's good enough to go against Page, seeing is believing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
That's it. Seeing is believing, and yeah, he definitely proved himself to be worthy. Like we said, I want to see more of him on Dynamite. Moving on, we had a promo backstage with Fuego del Sol, and he's now got the Dark Order in on his nonsense. I'm going to call it what it is. His nonsense with House of Black, and they're having a trios match on Rampage. I just can't believe like this is happening, and I can't believe House of Black are being subjected to this. Like,
do you know what it is? I know they say they want to save the match is clearly at Revolution. Death Triangle versus House of Black. But why don't you just do singles matches between the two factions to build to Double or Nothing? Just literally do Pac versus Brody King, Phoenix versus Buddy Murphy. Just do singles matches between the two factions and then have the trios, because trios matches is a completely different dynamic. So I don't spoil anything. It's a completely different dynamic.
Yeah.
But I don't why Fuego Soul must really be like Tony Khan's best friend backstage, because he is on TV a lot. And with these guys, I'm just like, yo, like this Death Triangle and House of Black feud makes no sense. I don't know why they're feuding. It started off as mystical nonsense and it just turned into it's NXT 2019 booking. The match will bang.
Yeah,
it's NXT 2019.
They're gonna get away with it.
The match will bang.
That's the annoying part. They're gonna get away with it.
They will.
Because when the match happens, we're gonna be like, oh, it banged. But crib this build up, man. This build up is nonsense.
And you know what? It's just dawning on me now. Yeah, you want to involve Dark Order? Like, surely that shit writes itself. Like, we're dark and spooky. You think you're the Dark Order. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but
surely.
Why is Fuego there?
Well, I know, bro. I don't know.
Why can't it be John Silver,
because he's got a mask as well,
and Reynolds? Like, why can't it just be them three?
Yeah,
that's what I don't get.
Yeah, it's a bit messy and it's a bit boring. Moving
Shout
on.
out Fuego though.
Oh, forget Fuego, man. Moving on, we had Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. They went up against the Workhorsemen. Match didn't last long at all. They were in Texas, and Dynamite was in Texas, so they were very hot for Keith Lee, who is from Texas. Great finisher that Swerve and Keith have been doing. I think they done it on Rampage a week or so ago as well. Like I say, they put these lot away pretty quickly. Keith Lee took to the mic and said that, you know, through our wins, I guess they've been getting more wins on Dark and stuff.
Yeah.
That they're a top 5 ranked tag team, and they were pretty much putting out a challenge to the tag team champions, Jurassic Express. Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs came out, said, "You're not jumping the queue." There were some really good lines, taking pop shots at each other about what they're wearing and Keith Lee's voice and stuff like that.
T-Rex, what was it? Rex from Toy
T-Rex
Story.
from Toy Story. Yeah,
I love the Swerve, just like, why are you dressed like a bar of soap wearing a pearl necklace? But it was just how he finished it. You're disrespectful to the game. Like, you're disrespectful
like
to the game.
he probably took offense. Like, he took offense at the drip.
You just know he saw him in that pearl necklace backstage, and he's like, "I'm getting you. When we get out there, I'm having you."
Yeah. But yeah, Christian basically came out along with the Jurassic Express when all this was back and forth was happening. Basically said that these guys aren't going to kind of stand around and watch this. They're going to lay out the gauntlet. They're going to lay the challenge. And we are getting a trios tag team match at Double or Nothing, which is fun for, I guess, all of these guys involved. Is it time Jurassic Express drop these tag titles, and to who? Which team?
It's been time. We're about quarter past time, bro. And any of them, literally, either of those teams, I will be so gassed to see holding the titles. Like, let's just do it right now. Personally, I want Starks and Hobbs to hold those belts, man, because they've been putting in work for a long time, and they're a great act. They're both great together, separately. Hobbs has come into his own so much, and Starks is just a ready-made star. So yeah, just give him some gold, man, and dash the FTW belt in the river.
I think it's time for you to move on, but I haven't minded the Jurassic Express run, and I think somebody put out a tweet. I can't remember who it was, but then they were like, I feel like with the AEW tag team division, it's often been said that the tag team titles haven't felt big, haven't felt like important in a long time. But then somebody said, is that because we're comparing it to the Young Bucks' run?
Yeah, but the tag belts were important though.
But because I say that because if we look at the lineage of the tag titles, SCU didn't feel that great. It wasn't that great. Kenny Omega and Paige was amazing. FTR was a bit Young Bucks was Young Bucks' run.
Young Bucks, I would say, only really kicked off when the crowds came back, though.
True.
When they were all like the elite with Don Callis, and that's when them man were on flames.
Moxley Kingston match, that kind of thing.
True. Yeah, true. It kicked it. So, and then we have obviously Lucha Bros, which I think is probably the worst one, which is saying something.
The worst, yeah.
And then we have this one, which has just been very middle of the road. So
it's like everyone's run to the title is excellent. The match to win the title is excellent, and then it just goes down from there.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's time. I feel like it's time for Jungle Boy and Christian. They've been, planting small seeds between that. In terms of the two other teams, either or, I don't mind. I guess because Keith Lee and Hobbs can wait. I mean, Keith Lee and Swerve can wait a bit longer. I feel like if to inject some like life into FTR, FTW, wow, man, all over the place. To get some life into FTW as a faction, just giving them the tag titles will mean something. And this is the most relevant FTW have ever been. They actually feel a part of the show now. Like they actually thought, it's FTW, like they're doing something. So I just feel like giving them the tag titles and then having them feud with maybe Swerve and Lee for after the pay-per-view, and then I don't expect them to have a long title run. But
even let them just like pass them back and forth like a couple times. I wouldn't even mind, Like,
I don't want a TNT title situation.
Nah, but at least just those two, maybe a couple times on a Dynamite, just to a little surprise. That like once back and forth maybe would be nice. But the tag team titles are not important, man.
It's mad to think in their years, and I can say that at this point, their years of operation, this is the most important Team Taz has felt.
Yeah.
And
by far.
I don't know, man.
It is, bro.
I wouldn't.
When have they felt more important than this?
Come on, when they were first coming up, like you had Brian Cage in like against Hangman in like I don't know, man.
Against Hangman doing what?
No,
what at the pay-per-view? The pay-per-view match?
Yeah, like Brian Cage, I swear he was in the tournament or something, and they had a pay-per-view match.
No, he was in the tournament at Double. He debuted at Double or Nothing when he ripped the ladder. Then he faced Moxley. Then got Bulldog choked by Moxley, and then they had the whole. I can't remember what they did after that. They would. The only thing I remember post that is Sting, and the Sting stuff was fun towards the end, but the begin it was fun after Sting got powerbombed. That's when it became fun.
But although the match and everything was good, that was a cinematic match. I'm guessing you guys talking about. Yeah. Importance level.
No, it was all about Sting and Darby.
It was it was a good match. It was good fun, which they have produced. But like I said, in my opinion, this is the most important Team Taz has felt.
Well, now there's stakes. They're actually up for something.
And they're actually getting to, and people actually reacting to them. Like people actually like, oh, that is Team Taz. I'm actually excited to see them. Like even Ricky, even Will. Like I feel like they've gone out. I feel like the best thing to happen to Team Taz is kind of everyone just splitting off and doing their own thing.
Being together so much,
yeah. Like even Taz, he's not even there. Like it's really Ricky and Hobbs, and then Hook's on his own island with Danhausen, and then Taz is just elsewhere. So I just feel like just disband the faction at this point. Like they're not really a faction. Like, they're better off by themselves.
And they've still got mileage in terms of Starks and Hobbs potentially feuding for the FTW title. Do you know what I mean? There's still mileage there. So who knows what's going to happen?
That title's actually being booked better than the TNT title right now. Which is
you know what? It's an argument still. There's an argument for it. After this segment, we had Red Velvet and Chris Statlander. Tony was in between them, obviously saying that you guys used to be friends. Red Velvet said, yeah, that was the old me. She's going to change. She's going to bring it to Chris Statlander. She's going to win the whole tournament. Statlander said, yeah, you've definitely changed. I've changed too. And that she wasn't granted the opportunity to be in the tournament originally. Obviously, she's now filling in for Shida, but she's going to come and win the tournament. Jade Cargill, Kira Hogan jumped in. They basically said that, yeah, it's a joke that you were ever a friend with Chris Statlander. She said her famous line to Tony Schiavone, cut the shit. I think this more than anything is to kind of get us ready for Statlander versus Cargill. Maybe Red Velvet beats her, and then I don't know, Cargill does like a beat down after the match or something like that. And maybe at the pay-per-view we're getting this. Who knows? Or maybe just to plant the seeds further down the line. But yeah, I think we've all kind of said Statlander is probably one of the only left believable people that could possibly beat Cargill for this title.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Xander's the person. I just feel like there needs to be, obviously if they've just started the feud, so
they need to warm her up.
Yeah, they need to warm her up a bit more. Maybe even have her win the tournament. Maybe just put the booster behind them. Be like, yo, I've won the Owen.
Can she choose what title she goes for?
We don't even know what the Owen's for.
I don't know what the prize is.
Because apparently the Owen's got its own belt, but then the belt is basically like that's what I heard for. Apparently the Owen's its own belt.
Is that what they said today? Did that news come out today? Because I heard there's going to be a new title.
Well, it's not necessarily going to be a title, but it's going to be like, you know how Okada basically won the G1, but he was carrying around the old title. That's basically what they want to do with the Owen, and then maybe that title leads to you cash that into I don't know. Like I said, they've done a bad job explaining what the Owen is for. The tournament as a tournament has been fun, but presentation is very. It's a C plus. It's a C minus. I would like to see Red Velvet versus Chris Statlander. I'm a huge fan of Chris. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
That should be good. Next up. Another really fun segment. Wardlow taking the 10 lashes. MJF, Sean Spears, they come down to the ring, mic in hand, belt in hand, and he runs his mouth that he's not in where's he from? Long Island anymore. He's here in Texas. Blah blah blah. They eventually get the pig to come down, aka Wardlow. Still being escorted with the Goldberg. Sounding Wardlow with all of his security. He comes down, shirt off, gets into the ring, and pretty much the lashes begin. The referee's there to ensure it is just the 10 lashes. First lash comes in, and Wardlow's head pops up after kind of being down as if he's kind of, waiting to take it. Pops up and he's laughing his head off. Like, is this all this guy has, sort of thing. Consecutively, the next 2-3 come in, and Wardlow completely no-sells all of them. And I don't know what I expected to see in this segment, because obviously we saw this whole lashing thing with Cody before. And I loved it. I love the fact he didn't even flinch. Like, there was no fear, and that must have hurt. Like, just
legit, that must have hurt, because it was legit. You can't gimmick a belt.
Like you heard it, everything against his skin. Like, you saw the welts, and he just no-sold it. And I thought, this is brilliant. I was thinking this got to be a camera trick or something, because this is mad. Then obviously MJF absolutely lost his temper. I hate you. I think one of them close to the end, maybe the 8th or the 9th one, he flinched a bit. But I've tried to watch it back. I think he got a bit of his head in with the hit. And then this turned into what it was always going to turn into, not listening to the 10 count of the lashes, just absolutely battering him, took out the diamond ring and everything. Sean Spears gave him his finisher. They beat him up and left him. No blood, not necessary in this occasion, I don't think, but I enjoyed this segment. What did you guys think?
Amazing.
This feud is exactly what it was supposed to be. Wardlow is to say Wardlow's over is understatement, but Wardlow's surprising me just how good of like an actor he is. Like his facial expressions, his timing. Like Wardlow gets it. Like he gets it. Like he's going to be somebody that really can take off after this, because we've seen in this feud he can cut a promo. We've seen, obviously we've known that he's a powerhouse, but he can actually work a good match. Wardlow's money, man. And I feel like, we've said that, AEW with big men, and obviously it remains to be seen, after this because MJF hasn't had a bad feud in AEW. So MJF is kind of like guaranteed to give you a good program. But we'll see what's happening after this. But from what we're seeing right now, the only way is up, man. Like, you can't mess this up. Wardlow is doing an incredible job, man. Like, big up Wardlow.
I was looking forward to like more so like the weekly TV once this breakup happened, and it's over delivered. Like every week the segment is just so good. And the one hope I have, is that like these welts look bad, because I want to see him walk into Double or Nothing like covered in just marks. Do you know what I mean? And
it's too far away.
That's what I'm thinking, man. Maybe they'll have to do him
What's
up
it, like
again
2
or
weeks,
something.
isn't it?
It's only 2 weeks.
Just under 2 weeks.
I was just hoping, man. I'd like that visual of him just walking out and like you just see him battered and he's finally getting his hands and he's like, this is what you've done and this is what I'm doing to you because of it. Like, but
I mean, that would be a great visual, and maybe I guess we'll see what they do next week. That should have been probably the home
last thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still cage match next week, isn't it?
What's still cage match?
The Sean Spears.
Oh, Sean Spears. Yeah.
He's gonna murder him.
Oh yeah. Oh, you want to see blood? We don't need it this week. Wait till next week.
Yeah,
you have your blood.
I hear it. But like you're saying, I think this has, because of how long or when this feud started or when it kind of really kicked off, that these two don't get along no more. They've done an outstanding job to make it interesting week by week by week. And I don't even want to think about what it's going to be like when they're not together and maybe Wardlow's out there on his own and stuff like that. Because I'm just enjoying this so much.
But this is why I love this trope of MJF, like him making people like jump through these hoops, because it makes for great weekly TV, like the Jericho stuff, like what was it called? The Trials of Jericho. Every week, though, we were like, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Oh, my God, can you believe who it is this week? And just like the lash-ins, and now we've got this cage match to look forward to. It just makes for such good weekly TV, all this stuff, man.
And to be honest, that's the whole point of episodic TV. So you tune in next week.
Yeah.
So, they're absolutely nailing it. Moving on, we had a backstage segment from Roppongi Vice. They've laid out a challenge to FTR for the ROH championships, which I personally don't mind, but this is now, I assume it's going to be on Double or Nothing. And this is where the AEW pay-per-views, although they aren't, they're few and far between, so they try to stack them. I don't think this needs to be on a pay-per-view, personally.
I think this should be... I think this could go on the pre-show, but you can't put FTR on the pre-show.
You can't put FTR on the pre-show. That's the thing.
You can't put FTR on the pre-show. What I hope is that this is like I hope this is like the Dynamite after. What I feel like they should do with these pay-per-views, right, is make it like a weekend. So obviously you got pay-per-view on a Sunday, then the Dynamite after Double or Nothing.
Dynamite Backlash, yeah. Dynamite
Backlash. Oh my God. Dynamite Backlash. But yeah, because even, do you know what I've noticed? When was the last one of these like Bash at the Beach or Beach Break type shows?
Cut them out,
yeah. But he tries it though with these little sly ones like Wild Card Wednesday and that. He tries it. So
no,
I don't think he treats it the same.
Not, but still.
You see, remove that hour show, Battle of the Belt. Remove them shows. They do nothing. Problem. Remove them shows because you were doing a better job when you had like I can't remember the name of them, but you know what I'm talking about, like the beach breaks, and those were actually good, and those were the times where you could get FTR versus Roppongi Vice and all of that. But Roppongi Vice, and I thought this was, and maybe this is me reaching, this was like a little hit to Forbidden Door. They said they want the IWGP tag titles. I think FTR are gonna face whoever the IW. I feel like FTR are gonna take the IWGP tag. I think that's the only title that's gonna be like on the line at Forbidden Door. Because I don't think any titles are switching. It just wouldn't make sense. But I feel like the IWGP tag titles, I feel like they're switching. They're going abroad.
I love it. You know what? You know the funny line as well, man, when he's like, "You better accept Brentwood." Like,
Brentwood. Right at the end. Yeah. What was I gonna say? So yeah, even just as you were just saying, NK, that the maybe do like a 2-day pay-per-view. I think something like that wouldn't be, or sorry, should I say it would be well accepted if they done like maybe even like a Saturday night, a Sunday night together sort of thing. Because if they can still then have the as less frequent pay-per-views, but then it still feels like a big deal because it's a weekender.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of spread it out. You don't have to kind of sit down and watch. Some of these AEW pay-per-views have been about 4 or 5 hours. Very good wrestling, very fun, makes sense, but it is a bit tiring.
Not everyone can come on the card, man. I feel like,
That's it.
This is the problem. Obviously when you've got big names, it's like it's a headache where to pick, and it's a headache that you've caused. By the end of the day, is wrestling. Like, you've got some of these talents you just can't let wander. I understand it to a degree, but not everyone can go on the card, man. And I'm so sorry. I know Sammy Guevara should not touch that pay-per-view. Sit him on the bench.
He shouldn't be.
Sit him on the bench.
But I know I'm quite a fan of that idea now that I've said it out loud. Like maybe like NXT takeovers, like 2 hours and a half, tops 3 hours. Like if you've done that one on a Saturday night, one on a Sunday night, and AEW didn't add any more pay-per-views to the calendar, but that's how they package their pay-per-views. I thought that could be quite sick.
The only problem then is you've got to find that happy medium where, like you're saying, I think you're right. They would have to shorten both shows because otherwise they would maybe, you'd get they're stacked, but then we've got a lot of maybe filler and matches.
You'd have two WrestleManias, and I'm not having that. I'm not having 2 WrestleManias 4 times a year. Like, what? So that's what? Nah, I'm all right, man. I'm not doing that. Nah.
To make it less, like I say, 2.5 hours, or tops. Like,
there's probably something in terms of like the risk of buy rates, maybe because people would have to pay more for a double show.
That's true.
And they're not on the network as well, so they probably can't get away with that.
That's true.
Who knows?
Okay. Next up, we had another Owen Hart Foundation Tournament first round match. Is Kyle O'Reilly versus Ray Phoenix. I felt this match was a slow burner. It took long to kind of start and get into it, and then once it kind of took off, it took off. Like, this might have been the best match on the night. I think Kyle O'Reilly got the win. In terms of action, there was just like loads of kind of like nice butterfly suplexes. Phoenix just loves putting together these absolutely mad sequences that you just don't see anywhere else. And he doesn't even repeat these. It's like a one of one. This match he's going to do this mad sequence. Next match he's going to do another mad sequence. Repeat again.
I said his moves are at NFT.
Literally, that one-of-one sequences that you never see again. Like, these lot were really good. There was lots of kind of hook kicks, clotheslines from both guys. I think what the finisher was. What did Phoenix go for before Kyle O'Reilly caught him?
So I think he how he does, like, he kind of does that rolling cutter where he rolls. And then Kyle caught him in an armbar and then Phoenix armbar.
But the way he transitioned to the weaker arm as well was so clean. Like, and it tied into it all the match. Like, so good, man.
Yeah.
And then he hooked him with his leg as well.
Yeah.
There was no way out, sort of thing. So
Speaking of one-of-ones, like, Phoenix did something where it's like he's going to go for an Alabama slam and then just turned it into a powerbomb. Like, what the fuck was that?
Do you know what move Phoenix does that confuses me? It's when he does like the suicide dive, but then he rotates. So he does the suicide dive, and that doesn't make sense to me. How? Because you're diving straight. It's not like, because when people do the Kope Con hero off the top of the rope, they dive, their arms are here, like they're jumping upwards, but you are jumping straight, but then you're managing to flip. It doesn't make
so many times I've seen that, and I've seen how hasn't he caught his legs on the ropes?
Yes.
Like, how did he escape that cleanly? I honestly wished he just didn't lose as much as he does. Like,
but he's so entertaining. Like, people are you're not gonna avoid a Phoenix match because you know he's gonna lose. You're gonna see him run the ropes and get gassed.
I honestly feel like, why isn't Phoenix TNT champ? Like, just put him there. Like, just honestly,
we know.
Just literally, like, because Phoenix could be a heavyweight champion, but there's other guys there who have more of an overall package to be. Heavyweight champ is not just about, it's the overall package. But I feel like Phoenix, especially for what the TNT title was go out there every night and wow people. And it's
Put
like
on
that's what
bangers.
Phoenix is good at. Like I don't see why he's not that. You know what I'm saying? So Phoenix is amazing.
Because of the trios, isn't it? That's obviously what it is. But there's probably you could probably literally like this isn't even hyperbole. Like there's probably about 20 names who would be a better TNT champion right now. But you know,
Then
that's-
Phoenix.
no, than Sammy or even
Samuel,
Scorpio.
Ola in the place. Big up Ola. He says singles Phoenix in Lucha Underground was putting on bangers. Yeah, he was cold them times. Yeah, he's got it in him.
He'll
Again,
be fine.
I think
He's still like. You think he's still in his 20s, or I think he's either 20s or very, very early 30s.
yeah, I think he hasn't. He may not have turned 30 yet. I don't think he's turned
Yeah.
30 yet. So yeah, he's got.
But don't forget as well, he was the AAA world champion, wasn't he? Fairly recently, like before
Omega beat him for it.
Omega beat him for it.
So that's I know obviously different promotion, but you know he still had accolades. But we need him with a TNT strap, 100%.
We need TK booking him the way he should be booked. Because certain people are getting chances they don't deserve.
Yeah,
And,
I hear that. Cool. Right, we're getting on to the next segment, which is Chris Jericho, his face-to-face segment with William Regal. So obviously the whole Blackpool Combat Club are out there. Utah's off in Japan doing Best of Super Juniors. So instead, they've got Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz, I guess, on their team, filling in. And these guys come out and Jericho cuts an absolutely scathing promo against William Regal and his past life, Santana Ortiz, Eddie Kingston, Moxley, and obviously what he just recently went through, and how Brian Danielson is effectively going to be coerced into this kind of lifestyle, hanging with these kinds of people. At first, I thought, okay, like he's doing the heel thing. I felt, and maybe because I just have an affinity to these men that have kind of gone through this and come out the other side and are still alive and are, you know, trying to put that life behind them. There was a part of me that felt, oh, Jericho, you went a bit far there. Like, am I the only one? Like, what did you guys think of this promo before we get onto the rest of the segment?
I just think it went on too long, man. I think it was too long. It just dragged for me. I didn't get a lot out of it, and it just dragged.
I am not. I've given it time. I don't get Jericho Appreciation Society. I don't get it. I just don't. Because it's not even like clever anymore. For me, it's not clever. It's not like the whole sports entertainment thing was clever, but it's not even like if you're gonna be sports entertainers, like it's supposed to be like a mockery. It's supposed to be taking the piss. It's supposed to be like it's right now. It just this is Inner Circle reskinned.
2.0.
What's the difference? What's the difference between this and Inner Circle?
Jericho's a wizard now, isn't it? That's the difference.
He kills me with that bar. I can't lie.
I don't get, and I feel like the contrast. Like I liked Jericho and Eddie when it was back and forth because it was about something. It was about like Eddie, like Jericho thought Eddie was beneath him, and so on and so forth. And Eddie winning proved to Jericho that he belongs with these guys. What are these guys fighting about? Literally, even in Regal's promo, like I love. Listen, William Regal's an all-time great promo, like amazing. You just did a promo about Blackpool Combat Club, about cutting people's faces with a knife in the cheek, but now you're talking about pooing on people's toothbrushes.
Yeah,
like what's it got to do with anything? What is this?
Not pooing it, bro. He said he put it in his bum, bro.
He put it in his bum hole, yeah.
Same difference. Like it's
not really. It's not the same difference, but
like
we move.
Again, with where you raise a good point, like it's like sports entertainment for me is when he comes out, they're singing along to Judas, the fireworks, the pyro, everything's going off, right? But you always have this 2.0 guy, and I don't know his name. I can't remember who's who. Parker, I don't know what his name is.
The loud one.
No, the other one.
Oh, okay.
Daddy.
Not Daddy, the other one.
Not Daddy.
He's always saying, cut the music, stop singing along. But that is sports entertainment ish. But you don't want it to happen. Like I said, anyway, I think this promo it kind of went a bit too far. Like for me, I guess it's what some people could call cheap heat. Then, of course, like we've mentioned, William Regal's rebuttal was a bit childish. Like it wasn't for someone that you're talking about, giving someone a Chelsea smile, cutting their face, beating up those vignettes. This doesn't equate. And then it went back to the Jericho Appreciation Society, and they were saying, right, if you want a match, let's have a match. And Jericho was getting ready to kind of sell them the idea of doing a stadium stampede. Moxley takes the mic, no, I ain't doing that shit. And he just says, which is a great line, he says, like, yeah, we just need a straight match, violence, this, that, and the other. Still haven't outlined exactly what that match is going to be or whatever.
I think it might be a street fight or something, because
street fights is very easy to do. Personally, I think a blood and guts would be good at this point. Like insert it into Double or Nothing. It just kind of makes sense for where they want to take this, if that's where they want to take it.
And Regal's right there to do the tagline as well. Like it's all there.
It totally makes sense.
Blood and guts.
Blood and guts. But yeah, like, and then Eddie Kingston obviously wanted to say, like, let's fight right now. Jericho and everyone turned around. And Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston obviously are previous as well that we've seen play out on TV. And they kind of started kicking off between them when Moxley and stuff had to stand in.
I appreciated them addressing that though. Like I think that's just nice for them to go, hold on, you didn't like him, and just to explain that, I think it works. So let me ask you a lot of question, yeah? This Danielson mishap that's happened. As it's coming to light more and more, it's supposedly looking like a work. So yeah, that's what people are saying.
Okay.
I think Alvarez said he thinks it's a work, or Meltzer, one of them. And to be fair, after looking at the footage earlier, I think possibly it is, man, because he wasn't limping. The wrestlers weren't as concerned as they probably should have been or would have been. Like, it did look very worky to me. So are they just trying to take Danielson out so the numbers are correct? Because
on the numbers correct anyway.
No, numbers are correct already because Utah's not there.
Yeah, but Utah, that's why I don't get them.
Utah's not going to be there.
In Japan, he's not going to be there.
Yeah, this is why I don't get them. What are they doing? I don't understand. Like, if it is a work, why is Danielson being removed from this? If that is,
I haven't seen it, but I heard that he walked out limping on his own, which I guess is a start.
Yeah.
If he is hurt, hopefully he's not seriously, and hopefully he makes it for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, because the report I read was that obviously he was hurt, but it's nothing serious. It's just he'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
We will see in it. We'll see, but hopefully, you can't lose Danielson when it comes to the pay-per-view. But honestly,
to answer your question, NK, you asked what's the point of the JAS, and at this point, I was so high on it when they debuted and stuff. I thought, brilliant. They're gonna just take the mick of WWE, like in a really intelligent way. Yeah, it's kind of lost its way since then. I think right now, all I can see is this is a vehicle to literally turn Daniel Garcia from sports entertainer to pro wrestler / Blackpool Combat Club, which is fine. But I want to see how we're going to start putting that into action.
This is me fantasy booking. I understand. LA Dojo were in dark the other day. They were in dark the other day. Now, I feel like because of the way they were on, people on Dark, but people don't get promo time on Dark, and they don't get time to, and they got a whole segment uploaded it onto Twitter. Like, they wanted people to see this. Now, I feel like after Double or Nothing, we're going to be in Forbidden Door season.
Yeah.
The numbers don't quite line up for LA Dojo versus Blackpool Combat Club yet.
What are you going to tell me?
Add Garcia to the mix for Blackpool Combat Club. The numbers start making a bit. I feel like we're going to get Blackpool Combat Club versus LA Dojo.
What about Shooter? What about
That's
Shooter though? Death Riders reunion, man. He's right there as well.
true, but
Yeah.
I think he's off in England, so what?
Hmm.
But I just feel like
Even
don't put
Moriarty sat there on the bench. Like, surely we're gonna get to Moriarty joining this group. Like, just speed
at
it up.
some point.
If you needed numbers,
At some point they're gonna make up the numbers, but I feel like that's the destination. Well, at least okay, no, let me not say that's the destination they're going. That's the destination I want them
You
to
want
go.
them to go.
I want them to go. Let me be clear. I don't think Tony hasn't given me enough for me to think that they're going there. But when I saw that and I was like, numbers wise, it
are
makes
you
sense.
saying just for like weekly TV, or you want it like this big war at Forbidden Door?
Like,
Nah, come on, man. What, you're gonna have Danielson and Moxley, like not in a Okada, Tanahashi, or Satin Dream match? Come on, man.
I mean, who's LA Dojo's leader? Shibata. Exactly.
All right, I'm back in. I'm back in.
Exactly.
We'll see how it plays out. Like you said, we got to get over the hill of Double or Nothing first, and into June, then we're definitely in season. So yeah, this segment happened. It was followed by Matt Sydal, Dante Martin, basically sending for Blackpool Combat Club next on Friday on Rampage. So they're gonna get smoked ultimately. And then we move on to the women's match. So the Owen Hart Foundation women's quarterfinal match, first round. Britt Baker versus Maki Ito, who we know at this point came out. There's again some fun bits in this bit. We saw the little spot where Ito done where Baker slammed her head into the top rope, but then it didn't phase her. Ito just rammed her head continuously into it and then headbutted Britt, which was pretty good. Baker won with the lockjaw finish. Tony Storm came out, and yeah, they just kind of stared down each other and stuff like that. Baker's through. Adam Cole, we're going to get onto in a second. Does Baker win this tournament, guys?
No, I think Tony has to win it.
Tony has to win it, you're saying. Who is Tony Khan booking to win this?
I think Tony still.
You think Tony? Yeah?
I think he'd be silly to keep putting Britt in the spotlight. I think he knows better, or I hope he knows better.
I feel like yeah, the finals clearly because Tony and Britt are on two different brackets, right? If I'm not mistaken, or no?
No, Tony and Britt is next match. That's the semi-final.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, Britt. There's no sense in Britt winning the tournament. Like she's literally just had a title and doesn't do anything, and unless like again, yeah, I see Tony because you have to give Tony something to do because right now all Tony's done is the tournament and like yeah.
I agree. But do you think, obviously we know at this point Adam Cole went on to beat Jeff Hardy, which we'll talk about in a bit. Are you thinking, because I don't know whether I'm happy for this or not, Adam Cole wins the men's tournament and Britt wins the women's?
Absolutely not. No. Adam winning the men's I'm perfectly fine with. They need something to keep Adam Cole on that upper tier level. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like what they've done a good job of establishing Adam Cole as like a top upper echelon guy. I don't want to see power couple nonsense. And at the end of the day, you were just champion, Britt. You just lost it to Pat. No, you don't need it. It don't make sense. You don't need Adam Cole winning the tournament makes sense because he literally lost a title match to Adam Page. He hasn't been champion. He needs something an accolade that he can hold on to and be like, I did this.
Yeah, talk shit about basically.
But Britt, for everything he just said, Britt could.
But Britt was just champion.
I lost this, so I still need to show people I'm that girl, innit? Like,
I'm not mad at the power couple thing, you know. Like I'm not sick of Britt Baker. That's too strong, but she's been in the spotlight a lot, and there's a lot of other women to showcase. But I've said it for time, man. There's not been enough of it. Like there needs to be more power couples. I'm waiting for a year or two so we can have Montez Ford and Bianca like heel power couple over there. Like I just think there's so much mileage in that, and just so much good segments you could possibly get out of it, and just the image of both of them like holding up trophies together, like it looks good, man.
I'm in that camp as well. I can't lie. I'm a fan of power couple nonsense in my wrestling, but I agree that if they want to do that, this doesn't have to be the route that they take. We don't need to see, especially Britt Baker, win the trophy.
We're gonna have Tay Conti and Sammy and Britt and Adam Cole. Even though I know there's two different levels. People like Adam Cole and Britt, but no.
You know what it is.
No.
They need to face each other.
NK, it's because you're
So
too
who's
busy
the face?
power. You're too busy power slamming. Yeah, we know about power couple in it because we got the misses at home in it. So it speaks to us, innit? You're not...
NK's in the club. NK's in the street. Yeah, there's definitely an element of king and queen of prom and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's I can understand if it's not someone's cup of tea completely. But yeah, I think if I don't mind us getting to that destination, if that's where we're gonna go, it just doesn't have to be through this tournament. Britt Baker doesn't need to win. I think Toni Storm or even a Ruby Soho could do with a win like from this tournament, but we'll wait and see. Britt Baker is their golden girl after all. So yeah, after this segment, we had a segment around the women's title. Let's talk about it. So Tony Schiavone came out to hype up the 3-year anniversary of AEW. Serena Deeb comes out, cuts him off, and she basically wants to know why the whole world is against her. Why doesn't anyone think that she could win this tournament? Calls out Dustin Rhodes. Dustin comes out. She cuts what I would say was, in terms of the content of the promo, a really well put together promo in terms of saying everything she's kind of had to go through. The whole breast implants thing I didn't even know of, that, you know, to basically be WWE, who she was kind of taking, you know, jabs at, cut her hair off, which we know. And she kind of had to change herself and kind of go against her values to get a chance. And it's almost poetic somewhat, it being appealing to Dustin, because Dustin had to do a lot of those same things as well to get a chance in WWE with his whole Goldust character and kind of compromise who I guess he would have wanted to be. And then Thunder Rosa eventually comes out. Thunder Rosa and Dustin get into a mix-up when Dustin's trying to stop her from attacking Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb attacks her, carries the belt. She pretty much took the belt with her, didn't she? Or did she put it back down afterwards after she was done posing with it? It was just, for me, the delivery of Deeb's promo. There was just like no real passion. The fans didn't seem to care. It was almost like she was reading it off a piece of paper. This is the second time they've kind of put Deeb out there within this feud, and it just has not happened for her. And even with the Shida stuff, which got repetitive, but they were all kind of pre-taped promos, it worked a lot better. At the same time, you know, we always complain.
Was that your
about...
Deeb impression?
At the same time, we complain if we get the same things over and over and over again. But I mean, guys, what's your thoughts on this segment?
It was a travesty. I had it on mute. I can't lie. I muted it halfway through. It was a travesty. Like, oh my God. Like, oh, do you know what? Yeah, I like Deeb, but I thought about this. What was the best way to do this? All you needed to do is a Jim Ross sit-down interview, JR in the middle, Deeb here, Thunder Rosa here, and have Thunder Rosa cut the have Deeb talk to Thunder Rosa and say, this is what I've been through. That's all you need to do. Because listen,
they haven't done that for ages, actually.
They haven't done it. And the last time I remember they did this, and the reason why Omega and Paige, that whole saga was amazing. Because I remember in the tournament, JR used to do interviews with Kenny in his hotel room, with Paige in his room, talking about his drinking, talking about this too. That's all you needed. Just get JR backstage and talk to Deeb and be like, yo, how do you feel? And Deeb just cut this promo from the heart. Not everyone needs to be on the light. And why is Dustin like this? Do you know what it is? This felt like it was bad stage blocking, because the moment where Thunder Rosa hit Dust, it was all convoluted nonsense. Sometimes less is more. Deeb isn't the strongest promo. Why are you putting it out there with a live mic with a feud that has no heat? It's cold. Nobody cares about this.
I said it's cold.
It's cold. Listen, this is why sometimes I'm like, Tony, the thing about Tony is so infuriating as a booker. Not because he's bad, because we've seen him do literal greatness, and then he will do stuff like this, and I'm like, is this the same person? Is this doppelganger syndrome? Because I'm not understanding. And this is why the women's division, every time we think the women's division is taking 2 steps forward, you take 9 back. Like, it's not making sense. I don't care about this match. Nobody's going to save this women's division. And the only person that has been booked with any modicum of respect and decency is Jade. Jade. Jade will never be subjected to nonsense like this. I feel like the person who will save the women's title is Jade, because she's already saved the TBS. She's made that title. So that's it, man. This segment, I muted it. I can't analyze the content because halfway through I put the mute button. I said I can't listen to this. My body physically, I was cringing.
Man was cringing. Mark says here, get Deeb into Blackpool Combat Club and let Regal do her talking.
No,
I think it makes sense.
But yeah.
I think it makes sense.
But I still like it as like a dojo, man. I want these youngsters in there, and Deeb doesn't need to hone her craft in the ring, innit? Like,
no,
if
but
anything,
she's the trainer. She's the trainer figure.
Yeah.
So what? Who's gonna make Deeb bleed open, got buckets of blood? Yeah, cause that's the way. Yeah, story like consistency.
You're right.
Before we start getting complaints about
Regal slapping like Deeb in the face. I don't think so. Can I? Right, I'm gonna have to back my brethren quickly, because I think, like you said, the content was fine. Like, Deeb come out and she went, right, who's been talking shit about me? Who's doubting me? Say it now. Come, say it to my face. What, Tony? You're talking shit? Come, what? Dustin, come out here. I'm going to batter you up as well. Both of us are just going to batter you for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, the delivery wasn't great. And what I will say as well is how many opportunities, and I know it's probably the case for a lot of talent there, but I doubt Serena's had a lot of ample opportunity with a live mic. Because do you know what it was for me? I think some of the stuff she said was great. She was stumbling over some of her words, but she wasn't interacting with the crowd enough. Like, there was no, like, the crowd were booing and she would do the whole, typical thing, but there was no, like, she should have brought realism into it and been like, stop chanting Thunder's name, or like, it was like she was taking herself in and out of the moment. Like, I don't know how many times she's had a live mic in her hand in her career. Like, she's cut a few little promos on NWA. Like, that's not really like a big live TV crowd like that. She may have back in the day with the society, the CM Punk Society, whatever it was, maybe had a mic in her hand. So, do you know what I mean? I don't know if we maybe being too harsh on her in terms of her experience in that role. But then that's what the coaches are for, and maybe she should have been ready before she went out there, kind of thing. But yeah, I just think the content was fine. The purpose, the motivation for her to be out there and cut that promo was good. And I get your point about the JR thing, but I don't want us leaning too heavy on these backstage segments to save the women. Like, I think there's so much
do
of
it
it.
enough though, because with backstage
I think they
segments,
do it too much, man.
Because with backstage segments, all we get is Tony Schiavone outside, like next to the teleprompter, passing the mic. We don't.
It can be framed different, but it's still right. The women are backstage. It's pre-recorded. I want them to. It's not delivered. Don't get me wrong. And if it's not working, don't keep doing it. But I think there's an element of not trial and error either, because you shouldn't really be doing that on live TV. But I think we need the women out there more.
I agree. The women should be out there more. But by the time you've made this your world title feud, and being out there is not working, you need to save it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So in the first instance, yeah, you throw them out there like you did. It didn't work. Okay, cool. Now we're not going to put these two back on TV together for another 2 weeks. So the crowds are kind of less invested, and then we're going to give them a bad segment afterwards. Like, yeah, they maybe should have done something like NK suggested.
I would argue, how many times have you seen Darby Carter promo live on the mic?
Yeah, you're right.
You don't.
Not often.
Look, even with Hangman Page, obviously no. Now as champ, like, he's doing it a lot more often. But in the beginning stages, like, I'm telling you, this and this is where video. I'm telling you, this could have been communicated through an interview or literally a video package about Deep, and then like, because the reason why is that when I go into this feud, I'm like, why do I care about this feud? Like, what is like, and yes, Deep did say it in the promo, but cool, the message wasn't delivered. I could write the nicest note ever. If my handwriting is bad, it's not legible. You can't read, the message is not delivering. So yeah, man, and now we're gonna go into this pay-per-view with no stakes, which means our investment of the match is low, which means we're probably not gonna like the match in the pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? And it's a shame, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy with this women's division. We've said it under every title, and now I'm thinking about it. Hikaru Shida probably had the best women's title reign. Now that I'm thinking about it,
maybe match quality, definitely match quality, 100%. But
because they didn't even bother. At least with Hikaru, they didn't bother telling the story. There was like matches, so there was no disappointment. With this one, they're trying and they're failing hard.
I did just, like, before we move on, like, I saw Daniel Price's comment about not necessary to take jabs at WWE, but not to get too serious, but I think it was quite important she delivered those lines, especially recently after we've heard what Athena said about, you know, what they were looking for in NXT and what she kind of had to go through on that journey. So I think it was quite important that it wasn't a shot at WWE, it was more a shot at her journey and stuff. So I think it was important to do that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I don't think that was a shot at the company. It's maybe even just a shot as how wrestling or the industry is in general at that time. So like I said, the content was largely really good. It's just a wrong person saying it, sort of thing. Like, we move on to the main event, which was Adam Cole versus Jeff Hardy in the first semi-final match. So the person that won this progressed to the final at Double or Nothing. Jeff Hardy makes his entrance, but Cole basically attacks him in the entranceway. These guys have an okay match. I don't really think there's much to discuss here. A lot of people...
You know why it was just okay?
Why?
Because Jeff Hardy was in the match. That's why.
Yeah.
And he's still on TV in 2022.
Jeff's finished. I'm so sorry.
I was just going to say, like,
don't apologize.
I watched this match, and I don't know. Maybe by then I was just waiting for the show to end, innit? Like, I just didn't really clock the quality of this match. I just was waiting for the show to end, and I saw obviously Adam Cole lowered his knee pad and, you know, delivered the boom. It was done. Then, of course, we had the beat down afterwards. Matt Hardy got in the ring. Young Bucks came down. Kyle O'Reilly came down, and all of that stuff. And yeah, that was the end of the show. Adam Cole progresses on to Double or Nothing. He's in the final of the Owen tournament. Jeff Hardy. I think I said this in the group earlier today that Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, the Hardy Bros, probably face Young Bucks at the pay-per-view, and after that, I'm washing my hands of Hardy.
I'm tired.
Please.
I have seen some people today say that they need to hang up their boots. However, they need to have an AEW tag title run before they do to basically complete the set. I was going to ask you guys, what do you think about that? I think,
Never. No, like that's a damn no. what are we doing? Like, this is not heritage. Like, look, do you know what? When they first came in, I was like, do you know what? I'll entertain it. But they are what? They are Persil. They are washed. They're done. Like it's what they need to do. Do dream match with Young Bucks, and right now it's mentorship. You just be that veteran tag team that collects wins here and there against the Acclaimed or Varsity Blondes or whoever, and ride off into the sunset. This is retirement tour. This is greatest hits.
From what Ola said here, do you think there's a chance we see the Broken Hardys? They kind of reinvent themselves and come back again?
Oh, please no! Just tell them to go to bed, man. I've had enough of it. My patience had worn out with Matt Hardy being on my TV so much, and now we got Jeff. I get it. People love the Hardys, the nostalgia pop. I get it. I do get it, and it's probably good for business, but it's not good for my eyes. I'm tired of seeing both of them. I can't bear it. I honestly, like, if Jeff Hardy won, yesterday, I was gonna be so fuming. I was so happy to see him miss that swanton and clot himself and then get smashed with a boom. I was so happy.
Because there's no dream matches. We already had one. Darby's done. Darby Jeff is done. We've had it, and that's probably
the best. The problem is you're forgetting, NK, that FTR probably still want to face them.
For what reason?
Like, just because it's the Hardys and the nostalgia, bruv, you know that there's people lining up backstage. I grew up on Jeff Hardy. Like, I want to face Jeff. Like, TK, please put me in with Jeff. Like,
no, but let the children do that. Let the people who need development do that. Like, let the young one. Yeah, I don't mind. Listen, let all of them develop.
Don't let them take any time. Or like, that's even gonna take up too much time on my TV screen, bruv. Like them two versus Varsity Blondes. Nah, keep it for Dark Elevation, bro.
Do you think I want to see? Do you think I want to see an FTR style match with the Hardys, where FTR cutting off the ring and Jeff Hardy selling for 12 minutes? I'm not watching that, bro.
It'll be the best Hardy match you've seen, bro.
That, bro. Them man are broken down. Like, them man are legends. Them man are good. This is like all I said. I'm not gonna say it's approaching Undertaker territory because the matches have been watchable and good, but if we continue on this journey, we're gonna approach Mark Calloway territory.
100.
So, better go off on the high. Don't overstay your welcome. Go off on the high. That's it, man. I'm tired of the young, and I'm tired of the Young Bucks having to carry these Young Bucks. Know who you are. Stop doing charity work.
Real charity work, real voluntary work. Like, for weeks I've just been thinking, how are the Young Bucks not a fixture on this program? And I understand what they're doing, probably very slow build towards this pay-per-view, but yeah,
they're stalling. Do you know what it is with the Young Bucks?
For them, yeah,
it's stalling for Kenny because they want to do this undisputed, and it's just like, I think they had a timeline in mind for when Kenny was coming back, and obviously with injuries things just go off plan, and Kenny's taking more. So right now they're scrambling. They're just like, we need to because we know what the people want to see. Undisputed Era versus the Elite. And that's all that this is building towards. But right now, it's just stalling. We them ones. We don't have the meal ready, so we're giving you breadsticks. the chef's taking too long. Have this breadstick.
Saying that, yeah, like, obviously we want this match. I'm personally under the impression we're getting Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole
in the final.
Pay-per-view. Yeah, you both know? You reckon?
I think
only because of what happened with his arm, and Joe's still got this feud going with Jay Lethal and stuff. So how does that tie in? Is it just going to be a respect one?
Do you know what? Because I think
Gentleman's 30.
I don't think we're going to get I feel like they're going to drag this Hardys thing out longer. I don't think we're going to get a straight up tag match. I feel like we're going to get the Hardys and Sting and Darby versus Undisputed Era. Yep. And then they're going to drag the Young
surely
Bucks
that's next week before Double or Nothing, though, isn't it? Surely. That's what that's for.
No, because you need Sting's a draw. You need them on pay-per-view.
But Adam Cole's got a pay-per-view match in the final of this.
So it'll be if you do Hardys and if you do Young Bucks and then Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, and you do the Hardys and Sting and Darby. It's four. It's four.
But if Kyle O'Reilly's in the final though, he won't be able to.
So I guess he's not in the final then. That's what it means.
The final. I think it's going to be Joe versus Cole.
It'll be Joe. And maybe that's how Adam Cole beats Joe, because obviously Joe's such a big presence. Joe's beat down and he's tired. Kyle O'Reilly's basically got him weak for Adam Cole. That's probably what happens.
That's why I think it's going to be a 4v4 chaotic ladder match with all these dumb spots.
Maybe just a tornado tag match or something, yeah.
Yeah, and then
I'm happy now you said that though. Joe in the final, my guy, my boy. You made it.
Yeah, but I don't. That's a lot of old men. That's Sting, the Hardys. That's I don't like. So what? Darby's gonna be the front runner of that group. Jesus,
carrying it. Boy, that was Dynamite. Like we said at the beginning, it was a good show. It was a good show. I think the first hour was better than the second, but yeah, all round a good show. Next week is the go home Dynamite before the pay-per-view. So we're bound to talk predictions and give our preview of what this pay-per-view is going to look like. That Page and Punk match, that is the one. Wow. I think I was telling you guys, I've been trying to make a video for the past 2 weeks on who needs to the title. I literally keep changing it from this is why Punk needs to win the AEW title to this is why Page needs to retain the title. And I've changed. I can't put out the video yet because I literally keep flip-flopping.
But this is how title matches should feel.
100.
This is what happens here when you build credible contenders for your champion. And you go into the pay-per-view with stakes, and either way, and you think you can justify either person winning, and it makes sense. This is how title matches should feel.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Punk one, but I feel like I'm being disloyal to Hangman. That's why I haven't put it out yet. But yeah, man, it's Ola says put out both. I might do. I'll see. But yeah, man, really good show of Dynamite. That's us, guys. I appreciate everyone that been watching along, commenting live. This is available on podcast as well. WrestleManiac UK show, wherever you get your podcasts. Please make sure you subscribe to GG on Wrestling. You see his link down below in the description, and NK Wrestlings, which have a big interview coming out tomorrow morning. NK, you just want to talk about who you guys got and the conversation where you can?
Listen, I'll be brief. I don't want to spoil nothing, but like we had obviously Will Ospreay, former IWGP heavyweight champion. He just main evented the Tokyo Dome against Okada. If you're into the 5-star ratings from Meltzer, he's got a ton of them. And overall, one of the best wrestlers in the world, if not the best wrestler in the world. And we talk about everything, his inspirations, just his upbringing when it comes to wrestling, And he sends for a lot of you wrestlers, a lot of you wrestlers out there, he puts you man on notice. There's a lot of smoke. If you're triggered, answer him in the ring. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, tune in tomorrow on Wrestlings. It's a long interview, it's a jam-packed interview, loads of content. And yeah, man, just big up Will every time, man. He's a solid guy, man. Appreciate him for coming on, man. It's a surreal moment, man. Surreal moment.
Love it. And big up Wrestlings for, channels growing, the popularity is growing, and we're getting the big stars and now realizing where the home of these discussions needs to be. So if you guys are not already, please subscribe to Wrestling's channel. It's gonna be available. It's gonna be available from tomorrow morning. But that is it, guys. Like I said, next week we'll be back again. Talking Dynamite, probably with a prediction show as well. Maybe we review the pay-per-view as well the following week. Thanks for you guys tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.